Hello and welcome to another video review. This is the Movies Stunts and Effects expansion for PC and Mac. This is the first and only expansion to the Movies. It was released in 2006 and it's kind of weird. I actually had the Movies Stunts and Effects expansion at the same exact time that I had the movies, as in I got them both together. And this was sometime after it was released, of course. But suffice to say, the video review you saw of the movies, it was actually Stunts and Effects. The simple reason you can't tell is because of something I'll get to in a moment. But suffice to say, it basically just adds in some content to the movies. It doesn't overhaul anything at all, which becomes a problem. And I'll get to that in a moment. But if you saw my review of the movies, then you know that it was a game with some really awesome ideas that never worked out. And they got the pacing all wrong, they got the mechanics mostly wrong, it never really made a huge amount of sense, that sort of thing. And so, ultimately, the movies ended up being pretty bad. So the question becomes, did the expansion pack improve upon it? Well, obviously the presentation hasn't really changed since the movies, so I'm not going to talk about that. But suffice to say, the gameplay has been altered. It's added in stunts and effects. That's it. That's all this expansion does. It adds in some new sets, adds in the stunts mechanic, and that's kind of it. So, therein you can already see the problem. Mostly because you still have the massive problem with unlocking things and waiting and just sitting there constantly waiting for things to happen, watching your movie studio go into the crapper because you just can't do anything. Those problems are still persistent in this game. What the expansion does, though, is give you a quick start. The quick start allows you to start in 1960 and allows you to start with stunts. Yes, you don't unlock the stunts until basically the 50s and 60s. That is a good 18, 20 hours into the game, I think. Something like that. Maybe more than that. It's hard to tell with this game. But suffice to say, it takes forever to unlock the stunts. And so the quick start is basically required. And the quick start allows you to choose either an empty lot or an already created lot. Why would you do anything but the creative lot? Mostly because it already gives you a pretty successful movie studio, just right off the bat. And it allows you to start up with the stunts and everything right off the bat without worrying about anything. Now, the thing about stunts in this game, you have to have stuntmen for them. And of course, they introduced new mechanics to train your stuntmen, some training facilities for them, stunt school, that sort of thing. Yet, it functions just like anything else in this game. It's pretty simplistic. You just drag and drop people in the stunt school, they become stuntmen, and then you have to assign stuntmen to your movie. Now, the hilarious thing about the stunts in this game is that you can have people who are not even the proper gender or who look absolutely nothing like the actor that they're the stunt double for, and yet nobody cares and nobody notices. So, as long as the stunt is a success, it's pretty much a 50-50 chance. As long as the stunt's a success, you're not going to have any problems. And more often than not, the stunts succeed, although there are some instances where they don't. But the problem is that they don't really add anything to the movie. In fact, the stunts they give you from the start are really, really pathetic. It's stuff like getting hit in the head with a board. Just in a comic stance. Getting hit in the head with a board as the person turns around. Seriously, that's a stunt in this game. And that's the one it has you doing at the beginning, when you have a stunt script right off the bat. And so, when you're sitting there looking at the new stunts that it adds in, and you're like, well, these aren't all that great, you have to wait until longer to unlock the good ones. Yep, more waiting. More waiting for things to unlock. More waiting for things to happen. See, that's my main problem with this game and with the expansion. The expansion didn't fix the waiting problem. In fact, it made it worse, because now you have more stuff you want to fiddle with, and yet you can't, because the game arbitrarily decides, hey, you're going to have to wait until late in the game to actually be able to do any of this stuff. And because it's incredibly slow, there's really no way you're going to have the patience to unlock everything in the game. So what ends up happening is the exact same thing that happened with the movies. You end up not caring, and ultimately you just give up on the game altogether. Now, that's the worst part about this game, because the stunts and such add in more elements to, of course, what you can do as far as the movies go. And it still has the same problems that the base game does. Why didn't they take the opportunity to fix those? All of this thing looks like a just massive missed opportunity. So many things, if they were done right, would have been awesome. But none of them are done right. And even with the expansion, which admittedly isn't much of an expansion, it actually doesn't add in all that much. And it was released as a full-priced expansion. So, what's going on here, you know? I don't really understand why they missed so many opportunities. Was it just because they didn't care, or did they not get any feedback? I mean, this game got rave reviews across the board, and nobody seemed to notice this problem. This one major problem of you not doing anything but waiting. If I wanted to wait in a game, I would play frickin' Progress Quest, not the movies. I play the movies because I want to see all of these unique elements, this movie studio management mixed with the actual movie creation and everything like that. I want to see all that blended together and work. And the problem is, even with the stunts and effects expansion, it still doesn't work. And the expansion itself ends up being incredibly pathetic as a result. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5. Thanks for watching.